Welcome to another episode of Beating Alpha. This is episode 66. Today we have a very special guest. I'm excited to get a hold of this man because I know he's very busy. He said he just jumped from another call to this one. So it's going to be a run and gun interview, but we're going to cover some great topics with you today, guys. Everything real estate investing. So here you go, Charles Carillo. He's a licensed Florida real estate professional, an Eagle Scout. We're going to mention that a little bit. A multifamily real estate investor since 2006. During college, he started an online payment business, which took him to dozens of countries in Europe, Asia, to meet partners and clients, forming his passion for traveling. In 2016, he founded Harborside Partners, a real estate syndication company that offers other active investors and passive investors to the ability to partner with him and purchase larger, more profitable assets. Currently, his company is invested into 250 units worth over $25 million. Additionally, he hosts a real estate investing podcast called Global Investors Podcast. So make sure and go check it out on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe also. That focuses on international investors looking to invest into cash flowing U.S. real estate. So thank you for being on the show today, Charles. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. I think it's going to be a fun interview with you today. So first of all, Eagle Scout. I know, I don't know nothing about that, but I thought it's worth mentioning because, again, you have it on your bio, and I thought I'm just going to do a little bit of research, which I found out since inception in 1911, only 4% of scouts have earned this rank after a lengthy review process. So basically 4% of kids in the States. So that's a quite an achievement at a young age also.
Yes, thank you very much. It's definitely something because you have a lot of people that you start with that don't end up with it, and it's something I add into my bio because I think it just shows you start something and you finish it, and it kind of speaks to kind of how I am in business as well.
Exactly. That says a lot. So at a young age. So let's talk about first of all the first business, because that's interesting. Online payment business. It wasn't like PayPal, no? It wasn't part of the PayPal gang.
No, it's similar to it. It was what we were doing was I started years back when I was in college, and it was considered more high risk clients that we were taking on. So clients that if you went to your local bank and you started a business, you went to your local bank and they wouldn't accept it. Online tobacco shops, stuff like this. We would take those clients, and we had a network of banks, very small network that we would place them with. The pros of it were that very little, minimal competition, right? I'm not competing with PayPal, Stripe, Square, name all the other ones. Bank of America, Wells Fargo doesn't want those, so not competing with them, it's great. And it's just how we worked with it was adding new clients in there. And my brother manages and runs that business full time now, and we've been little by little selling off parts of it here and there. I'm full-time in real estate, but for years I was full-time doing this and then investing in real estate on the side. But my real passion is in real estate investing. So years back, I switched gears and went into it full-time.
Interesting. So the payment company, it's not publicly traded yet. I'm just guessing.
No, it's not. We had all different parts of it, and it's my brother who's been really consistently selling off different parts of the business and keeping like part of the core. We had so many different, to be successful in anything, you've got to like really focus. And that was one of the things that years back, any entrepreneur knows and can agree with me for sure, is that you have so many different ideas that go through your mind and they're on your plate, and you got to get rid of them so you can focus on what you really want to do. And that's where you're going to be successful. And I think when you look at really successful entrepreneurs, super successful entrepreneurs, they've built one business. Maybe they've built something later in life, but they've really built one huge business, and they didn't build 7 businesses, right? Amazon, Microsoft, Bill Gates, out of all the money he's made and everything he's done, he's two organizations, his foundation and Microsoft. So
exactly, the key is focus, right? Follow one course until successful. That's what it says. So yeah, that is awesome. I love your approach and mentality towards business and building a business. I mean, you wouldn't have been accomplished the Eagle Scouts, coming back to that, if you wouldn't be focused on only that thing. But talking about multifamily, because again, like real estate in general, I mean, there's different asset classes, different strategies that, you know, might be available for people. But why to choose multifamily in the first place, comparing, you know, to the office buildings, you know, flipping deals, you know, buying rental properties, Airbnb, like why multifamily?
Multifamily, I grew up, my dad was a large multifamily investor, and he had some mixed use properties, which mixed use properties, if you're ever in a downtown area and you have office, a restaurant, retail on the first floor, typically, and then just residential above it. And that's what we consider a mixed use property. And multifamily is just something that, you know, we saw everything that was happening with office, and you know, you see that going on, and I'm kind of, I wouldn't say that I foresaw everything that was happening with COVID and everything else, but multifamily is just, it's very simple. You know, people need a place to live, and you can provide that housing. You get into, there's so many different ways to make money in real estate, and the thing that always worried me, like you mentioned Airbnb and VRBO, is that you can have a profitable business like that, and what happens when the city changes the laws, right? And no matter how big of an Airbnb investor you are, you're not going to have enough money to outlobby Hilton or Marriott or anything like this if they come in. You know, it's happened in New York and a lot of other places. So you might have had a profitable business, and you're buying it just to Airbnb it. That would be a risky mistake. And some of the properties that we own, multifamily complexes, we've actually Airbnb'd out room rooms in there, right? Apartments in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very profitable, but it's a small percentage, and you don't run your numbers on that, right? We probably had 4 or 5 units out of a 100-unit complex we had once in, and we were doing that. And it can be profitable, but the thing too is it takes one city policy, one regulation that changes. And what do? You have, if you own the property, how are you, what are you going to do now? And then if you're subleasing the property, what do you tell your landlord? And you've been paying a premium so you could have 30 people a month staying in that place. What do you tell them? I can't pay, or.
Yeah, definitely. And coming back to the basics, just, maintenance and turnover. I mean, I spoke with Airbnb management professionals, and, that's the first question that I ask, like, because when people come in and they rent long-term, half a year or a year or more, whatever that might be, it's a different approach. It's their home for that time. But when you come in, for a week or for a couple of days, I mean, you should expect, big turnover. I mean, the people are going to trash the place, and, so there, of course, there is, systems that are going to put in place, to avoid that. But, like multifamily is different. Definitely, I see the advantages and the disadvantage of the rest of the properties, like commercial, office space or Airbnb, tax advantages, right? Like multifamily has that. So, okay. So what are you guys are currently focusing on right now when it comes to your deals? Like what states are you investing in, and what asset, like, is it brand new, A class, like D class? Where are you aiming at?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for when we're syndicating properties, we've casted a much wider net than just Florida, where I'm located. It's really the whole Southeast, and we're underwriting deals from Tulsa to Atlanta all the way down into Florida. So the whole Southeast United States. We want landlord friendly states. And when I started investing, I'm originally from Connecticut, a very tenant friendly state. So it makes it much more difficult to operate there. And when you're down the Southeast, traditionally much more landlord friendly, and you're able to have the government behind you when you're the local government behind you when you're operating your business. So yeah, for the whole Southeast, for syndications, smaller properties that we might buy ourselves or with 1 or 2 partners, we focus on a couple counties in Florida that just kind of keeps it a little easier to manage. So.
Got it. So in the current market conditions, are you looking to buy or sell the properties?
Right now we've just refinanced one property, and we're not purchasing as much as we had planned in January for this year, but I think that's everything's changed for everybody in every industry. But what we've done is, we're really focusing on C+ and B- assets, and we're buying properties. We're making sure with all the eviction moratoriums, you have to be very careful. on who you're letting into your property or who's in the property when you're buying it, because you can't get rid of them easily. And that's something that we've been really making sure when we do, when you're buying a property, larger multifamily, you're going to do what's called like a lease audit on it, and you review the leases, you grade the leases, and you're really, before, you might not say, okay, well, lease doesn't really matter, or this person's not an ideal tenant, probably won't be around for more than 6 months, whatever, we'll put a couple $100 aside or a few $100 aside for eviction. Now it's something where we have to put a couple $1,000s aside, because we don't know how long they're going to be in there for. We don't know how if we have to get them out. We don't know if they're just going to sit all through COVID. I mean, there's not a guarantee. So you just have to be more conservative, and you have to be asking for seller credits. And really, when you're underwriting, you have to just make sure that, hey, there's going to be, 10% of people, or whatever the number is that you figure out for the area, that at some point, and then we're not going to renew the leases, right? Maybe even higher if the management was poor, that was very poor, that you were buying it from.
Okay, got it. So going in the future, like 2021, like what will be the approach? What will be the best case scenario that you guys want to put your company in a position like? Are you planning, like, what is the number currently that you have? 250 units? That's right?
Yeah, we have just over 250 units. And I think what 2021 is going to be kind of what 2020 is ending up to be. It's we're not going to think that COVID's going to be done in 2 months or 3 months. I think this is something, not to be negative, but I think it's going to be going. We're not going to get back to anything normal until 2022. So 2021 is probably going to be like the end of 2020, where we're going to be conservative on the properties we're buying, and make sure that, partners brought us syndication deals this year, and we turned down the majority of them, maybe 90% of them, 95% of them, because we just want to make sure that the areas are good, that we're buying in, and making sure that they're solid assets. Because when you're bringing investors' money into it, especially with your money, you just have to make sure that everything, you have a very good chance of hitting your targets on there. And it's difficult if you're really over exaggerating what your rent increases are going to be, or how you're going to be adding value. And I think the other thing too is, when we're buying something, we're really looking to get the property online and get it stabilized after we've purchased it, and then thinking that probably in the end of 2021, maybe 12 months from now, we will then be starting the value add process, whereas we're going to do work interior to the units, and we're going to raise rents. And I think doing that beforehand, or putting your estimates as you're doing that beforehand, is a little foolish with everything going on. It's very hard pressed for me to not renew a tenant that's paying, right? So that I can go in there, do work, and raise rents. I'd rather have someone that's paying in there, that's a solid tenant, maybe raise their rent 2 or 3%, right? The normal increase you might have, and just leave them in there until you're ready to do what you want to do. So.
Exactly. So talking about, because you mentioned the syndication, and that's basically where where people, sophisticated investors, accredited investors, pool their capital into this investment. So can you talk about what it takes for somebody to invest? Because maybe there are some people who are listening or watching this, they never heard about what syndication is. So if you kind of explain for those people what it is and what you guys do.
Yeah, so syndication is, we're pretty much pooling money together from passive investors. So those are investors that have no risk. They're limited partners. They're just have the risk of the capital they're investing, and they're investing it with a group, general partners, which is what we are, with any other partners that we're working on the deal. And we're able to purchase these larger properties. We're able to have scales of economy that you wouldn't regularly be able to get. And everybody, when you're talking about real estate, everybody likes the idea of it being residual, right? And you ask someone, hey, when's the last time your landlord's been to your property? And they're like, I've never even seen him. I just see this guy that collects my rent. So that sounds great, but there's a lot behind the scenes. It's a whole business. So for busy professionals, it's very difficult to invest into assets like this, buying a business, right? So if you can buy a business with people that already have a system in place. And syndication has become a lot more popular in the last 10, 15 years, whereas previously it was really country club type deals, right? Where you're sitting down and someone's, hey, let's put together some money and buy an apartment complex. And now that's kind of being brought out with all the podcasts and the internet and YouTube. It's really being brought out to the forefront, and people actually are able to access these deals that normally we're purchased by larger companies or we're purchased by just wealthy families. So.
Exactly. And I seen on the website that you have a event section. It's called Tampa Meetup. So do you have any upcoming, like maybe virtual, just like this on Zoom, events that people can attend to learn a little bit more about what syndication is and how they can invest along with you as well?
Yeah, sure. We have we paused about 6 months ago our meetups for COVID, but we do a monthly virtual meetup, and people can learn all different parts of the real estate investing business. And there's so much information out there as well that people can find, and we have some education articles on our website. But yeah, Tampa Meetup is something, and we hope to be restarting it. Probably won't be until next year the way this is going, but with our face-to-face meetings, but we do a virtual one.
Got it. So maybe we can include a link at some point as well for people to attend that, because that will be interesting. So again, I see on the website as well, because I just like to go and browse and see what the companies are doing. And I see you have the book As the Men Think It by James Allen. If people never, if you never heard about the book, go and check it out. You can actually download it for free. I see here on Charles' website. It's charlescarillo.com. But what I wanted to ask you, why is it important for you to give back? Because I see that you're giving away, again, part of your wealth, to the charity. So why is that so important? And why should it be important?
I think it's always good. I know a lot of businesses that will have I kind of keep it separate. And I know some businesses will have like Tom's Shoes, right? Tom's Shoes had that where they would donate some part back. And I kind of like the idea of keeping it separate. So if someone's investing, if we're speaking to someone about investing into one of our syndications, or they're one of our partners, that's a business. We're there to make money for everybody that's involved with it. And personally, though, I do like giving back to different organizations that I believe in, that my friends are running, or that they have a purpose that hits home. You know what I mean? Everybody has different things that happen in their life, whether it's to them directly, to their friends, to friends' families. And you kind of want to, that aren't as, that aren't maybe as on the forefront, right, of what you hear in the news. So it's great to kind of highlight what you believe in and kind of what you're giving money to. And, even if it's something smaller, it doesn't have to be, that was something I was always, I'll wait until I hit this goal and then I'll start doing it. And, years back, I just started doing it, and it feels better. And when I look through all the different places that we invest or we've donated to, it's a great feeling to know that you're able to help other people and kind of spread around your success, even if it's a little bit at this point, and hopefully to be larger in the future. But it's a great feeling.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you on that one. People shouldn't wait. Even though I know there's a lot of people right now during the COVID times that are in a, bad enough shape, which is a shame again. Yeah. But some of the portion should go either way, because you could not expect to get if you won't give it in the first place. So that, again, and that's in a book, I think, As a Man Think It. So go and grab the book from the Charles website as well. But podcast, like I see that you have a podcast as well, Global Investors Podcast, where you have guests on. So like, what's going on with this project that you're currently running as well?
So there's like over 5,000 like real estate podcasts out there now. It's crazy, and there's probably a new one that started while we start before we start when we end recording this. But it's so the niche, from what I used to work with payment processing, we worked with a lot of international clients and had partners internationally, and so I would spend months at a time in different continents, mostly in Europe, and when I would talk to people over there, they're like, what else are you investing into? What are you doing? And I said, I'm investing in real estate. And I tell them all the great things about, like, what we're talking about here with multifamily, this. And I never was planning on raising money or anything like that from them. It was just something that I was doing. And they go, how do I do that? And I was like, I really have no idea. I don't know how you would do that. So I started researching it, and you'd find so much contradictory information online. And then I was like, this is going to be my podcast. I'm going to put together a podcast, and we're going to interview people that work with foreign investors. We're going to interview people. And so when you look at the episodes, there's some, and, we have about, 40% of our viewers are from the US, and about 60% are international. And so it's we have a lot of U.S. investors on there that they'll tell us about how they invest into U.S. real estate, everything like that. And then I'll have some episodes that are very niche about investing, being a foreign person investing. And if anybody's interested in any of that information, just reach out to me. You can schedule a call with me on my website, and we can talk about it, or Zoom call, whatever, depending on where you're located. And that's kind of the niche, was just helping people find out about this great investment, because a lot of countries don't have the advantages or don't have the cash flow potential that you have in the United States. So I want to just show it to everybody.
Definitely. And it's like, even before, like talking with the, business owners, like in Ireland or, different countries, everybody's looking, to preserve and grow their capital wealth, somehow, some way. But somehow, like, only the States, like I know a few countries that have multifamily also, but they don't provide similar returns, So I think, more and more people, even during this COVID time, a lot of people are actually shifting their attention from, I am a business, professional, or I'm, working W-2, or, working in a big company, Facebook, Google, you name it, I'm an executive. And, like COVID just woken up a lot of people. They just like, oh, maybe I need to start thinking about having a second, income source, or a third one, or a fourth one, which I think multifamilies definitely is a great source of income. So, talking about that, like 2021, as we mentioned, you're going to be reaching to accomplish your goals, which I'm sure you will. So what will be, again, the main platforms for people to get in contact with you, to make sure, if they want to invest, they want to learn something from you, what will be the main ones?
Yeah, so the easiest way is if you are interested in investing in U.S. real estate, passively or actively, it doesn't matter what you want to do. Set up a call with me, 30 minutes, obviously no cost. You can find on my website, Charles Carillo, or you can go directly to the page at schedulecharles.com. And then everything on that website, you can find my podcast if you're interested, if you're foreign, if you're U.S., doesn't matter. We work with all different types of investors. And looking forward to just talking to you. And if I can't help you or whatever, I'll point you in the right direction to get you going and investing.
Here you go. So that's definitely an interesting topic. Like multifamily is a good space to be in. So guys, make sure and go check it out, charlescarillo.com. Of course, the website is going to be in the show notes, so you can go and check that out. You can go and follow him Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Like, he's all over the place. So make sure and go and get in contact with him. And I mean, it's been a quite run and gun interview. As I said, it's quite quick. Well, I know you have a wealth of knowledge that you can bring, and we just have so much time available to us. But again, for the people who want to learn more, get in contact with Charles, and I'm sure he's going to spare you some time to explain how the syndication works, how you can invest, and how you can build wealth with this great asset class, which multifamily is. So Charles, appreciate the time. It's been a good fun having you on. Maybe we can connect, sometime as well, talk about, future business ventures, you building your company, so it's a good fun. I like, I really enjoy connecting with like-minded people just like yourself. So it's been awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And when I can travel again and I'm allowed back in Europe as an American, then we can meet hopefully and have coffee.
Here you go. Coffee, play golf. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do in Ireland. So, okay, I appreciate it. So guys, if you enjoyed the show, you already know what to do. Click the like, subscribe to the channel, go same, and check it out, Charles' YouTube as well. Don't forget to go and check it out, his podcast. Share this podcast with your friend if you think that will be a good, valuable message for you to share, that you can tell a friend, hey, listen, there's opportunities out there. So make sure and go do that. And again, guys, appreciate you watching, and I'm going to see you on the next episode.